Imagine a land without justice, where people had no one to turn to in times of need. This was Sicily in the 19th century, a place ruled by foreign powers and plagued by lawlessness. Out of this chaos emerged the secret society, the Mafia, born not from a thirst for power but from a desire to protect and survive. At its core, the Mafia was a brotherhood, offering protection to the vulnerable in exchange for loyalty and tribute. But as this underground network grew, so did its ambitions. The Mafia began to extend its influence, becoming more than just a local protector. It turned into a powerful organization that could even rival governments. They had a code between them, a vow of silence and loyalty, which ensured that their secrets remained hidden and their power unchallenged. The Mafia's rise in Sicily wasn't just a result of the island's instability, but it was a response to the people's need for justice and order in a world that offered them neither. But what happens when this secret society, formed in the rugged hills of Sicily, finds itself in the bustling streets of America? Will it adapt or crumble? This is the story of Mafia in America, the story of transformation and opportunity. As waves of Italian immigrants arrived on the American shores in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they brought with them not just their dreams, but also their traditions, one of which was the Mafia. In cities like New York, Chicago, and New Orleans, these immigrants faced discrimination, poverty, and a lack of opportunities. It was in these harsh conditions that the Mafia found fertile ground to take root. Unlike in Sicily, where the Mafia began as protectors, in America they quickly recognized the potential to expand their influence. The Mafia began to establish themselves in the neighborhoods where Italian immigrants lived, offering the same protection and assistance they had in Sicily, but now with new opportunities in the land of the free. The Mafia's operations expanded beyond their homeland's boundaries, embracing the American dream in their own way. They found lucrative opportunities in gambling, extortion, and other illicit businesses, and slowly they began to carve out their territory in the underworld of America's major cities. As the Mafia laid its foundations in America, the stage was set for a period of unprecedented growth. But it wasn't just about survival anymore, as it was about seizing opportunities that would soon make the Mafia rise as a powerhouse in American society. Picture America in the 1920s, a nation caught in the grip of Prohibition, where alcohol was outlawed but thirst remained unquenched. This was the perfect storm for the Mafia to thrive. As the government attempted to enforce the ban on alcohol, the Mafia saw an opportunity to profit. They quickly established an underground empire, supplying illegal booze to a nation eager for a drink. Speakeasies sprang up in every city, and behind the scenes, Mafia families pulled the strings, raking in vast fortunes. But the Mafia's reach didn't stop at just alcohol. They continued on and expanded into other lucrative ventures, securing their place as the undisputed rulers of organized crime. This period marked the transformation of the Mafia from a collection of loosely organized gangs into a powerful national syndicate. But who were the men behind this criminal empire? What drove these men to risk everything in pursuit of power and wealth? Behind every Mafia empire stood men of immense power whose names became synonymous with the very idea of organized crimes. At the forefront was Charles Lucky Luciano, the architect of the modern Mafia. Charles's vision was to create a national crime syndicate, uniting various Mafia families under one roof to maximize profits and minimize conflicts. His leadership and strategic alliances turned him into a legend in the underworld, earning him both respect and fear. Then there was Al Capone, the infamous boss of Chicago whose criminal empire during Prohibition made him a household name. Capone was a larger-than-life figure, known for his ruthless tactics and flamboyant lifestyle. Despite his violent reputation, he was also seen as a kind of folk hero by some, providing for the poor during the Great Depression. Another key player was Mayor Lansky, often called the mob's accountant. Lansky's brilliance in financial matters allowed the Mafia to expand its operations beyond traditional criminal activities, investing in legitimate businesses and even influencing international affairs. These men, alongside others like Frank Costello, weren't just criminals, but they were masterminds who shaped the course of American history through their actions. As these notorious figures rose to power, they also sowed the seeds of their own downfall. No empire, no matter how formidable, can last forever. As for decades, the Mafia seemed untouchable, a shadowy force that operated above the law. But every empire eventually faces its decline, and the Mafia was no exception. The cracks began to show in the mid-20th century, as law enforcement intensified its efforts to dismantle organized crime. The introduction of the RICO Act in the 1970s was a turning point. This powerful legal tool allowed prosecutors to target not just individual criminals, but entire criminal organizations. Suddenly, Mafia bosses and underlings alike were facing lengthy prison sentences. But it wasn't just the law that brought the Mafia to its knees. It was betrayal from within. High-profile turncoats like Joe Valachi broke that code of silence and revealed the inner workings of the Mafia to authorities and to the public. It is believed Joe testified to shorten a jail sentence he would receive. However, there were two main reasons why various members of the Mafia did start to testify around this time. One of the primary reasons Mafia members turn informant is the pressure from legal authorities. Prosecutors may offer reduced sentences, leniency, or immunity in exchange for cooperation. This is particularly effective when a member faces several charges or a lengthy prison sentence. The offer of a lighter sentence can be a powerful motivator for these Mafia members. The other reason is betrayal. The Mafia is often characterized by a high level of internal distrust and betrayal. If a member feels that their position is precarious, or if they believe that others might turn on them first, they might decide to cooperate with authorities to secure their own safety. These testimonies led to numerous convictions and severely weakened the organization. The once mighty Mafia was now struggling to maintain its influence, facing not only external pressure, but also internal strife. By the 1980s and 1990s, the Mafia's power had significantly waned. Yet, even as their stronghold on American cities crumbled, the legacy of the Mafia endured, leaving an indelible mark on the country's history and culture. The fall of the Mafia didn't just change the landscape of organized crime, it left a lasting impact on the American society as a whole. The Mafia's influence on American society goes far beyond the crimes they committed or the fear they instilled. They've become an enduring symbol in American culture. They've been immortalized in films, books, and television shows. Movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas have romanticized the life of the mobster, creating a mythos around the Mafia that still captivates audiences today. This portrayal has sparked endless fascination, turning real-life criminals into cultural icons. But Mafia's impact wasn't just cultural. It was deeply economic and political. Their involvement in unions, construction, and other industries allowed them to manipulate markets and politics, often blurring the lines between the criminal underworld and legitimate business. The Mafia's legacy can also be seen in the way law enforcement and government agencies evolved to combat organized crime, leading to the development of more sophisticated investigative techniques and policies. Moreover, the Mafia's story is a stark reminder of how power can corrupt and how the pursuit of wealth at any cost can have lasting consequences. Even though the Mafia's power has diminished, their story continues to serve as a powerful lesson about ambition, loyalty, and the dark side of the American dream.